Very good morning, dear students. So grade 10, I've already uploaded a few, I've sent it for WhatsApp, a few grammar worksheets, a few comprehension worksheets. I would like you to do at least 2 worksheets per session. Okay. If you are doing the worksheet, go with the worksheet, 2 worksheets per session. If you're going with my class, one particular lesson, that particular day. So based on your schedule, I would like you to stick on to the schedule and do the lessons. Now, another thing that I would like to remind you about is the answers that I expect you to send me on Google Play, Google Class. I would like you to send the answers. I'm not receiving many, and I'm also having a watch on the views that I'm getting on the classes that I teach. So I have a close, watch on what I'm doing because I'm very serious with these classes. So I expect you to take these classes seriously and please respond. Please do your work properly because I'm telling you over and over again, I don't want you to miss out. We will not have time. Remember, these are your board exams and you will not have enough time. So please make sure this is not only for English, I'm talking for all the subjects. Whatever video is being uploaded, I'm sure your teachers are not going to redo this in the class with you. So you please sit at home, do not while away your time, make sure you stick to the schedule, make sure you do your work in the afternoon, which is also allotted to you, make sure you do your work properly. And I'm reminding you, again, I would like you to be reminded of the fact that I will be taking your answers, which you'll be writing in a particular notebook or in a set of A4 size sheets. I'm leaving the choice to you. But when you come to school, I want to see the written work, you know, according to the classes. You can write your date and you can, mention your, the date, the time that you're doing your worksheets or your answering, whatever you put up on Google Play, Google classes. I would like to see it on your paper also, or whatever notebook you're using. All right, because when you come back, I want to see everything. I want it uh, on paper. Please, I would like to see it because I believe in correct. I want to see your writing improve. So this is very very mandatory that you write down. Even if you put it down on your Google classes, I want you to have a record in on paper. A notebook or a set of sheets, whatever is left to you, but not in your classroom. All right. And another thing is. I want you to, update yourself. If you have any, if you want to write the answers and send it on WhatsApp also, it's fine. But I want to see that things are being followed at home. And don't I expect your parents to be after you. Don't expect them to tell you it's time, get to your work. No, it has to come from you. You're old enough, and I like you to do your work on your own. I don't want anybody, complaining, saying he's or she is whiling away your time at home. They're not following schedule. Please, it's these things. I'm sure they're not going to be repeated because in fact, we will not have time to repeat. If we are going to repeat whatever we have done now in class as well, then it does not, serve the purpose. And another thing is we need to do a lot of revisions. So if you cooperate, only then it will help you. It's not going to help us in any way. You are going to be the ones who are going to benefit out of all these things. So make sure you do your work properly. I've already done active and passive. I've uploaded a few worksheets on that. I've already done reported speech in class. So these are the important topics where you'll be, tested on in your grammar part. Most, I'm sure there'll be at least one question on these. So make sure you keep practicing. Practice makes a man perfect. You know that. I don't have to tell you. So only when you do a lot of sheets, exercises, you'll be clear with what you would like. You'll be clear with what you have to know. And I told you, if there is any query, you can always ask me. And another thing is, I was talking to you about active and passive, right? Why do you think we need to know about active and passive? Where do we use active and passive? I was talking to you about that. I don't know. I do not know how many of you are really taking things seriously. So that's a big question mark. I'm not very happy with the response I'm getting from you people, right? And then remember, what I tell you is what I do. I am not going to repeat anything of this back in class when you come back to school. I am telling you this over and over again. So please make sure you have doubts, jot them down in the same paper that you're doing your work in, and you can also feel free to ask me. On Google Class or on WhatsApp, whatever you want to. You're free to do so, and I'm always there to help you. But I would like you to follow what I want you to do. Only if you do things for me, it will be easy for you. It's not, I'm not going to gain in any way. It's you who are going to do the exam. So make sure you follow up. Okay, we were talking about active and passive. Now, when do we use active and when do we use passive? When you want to emphasize or give importance to the speaker of the action, you use active and passive, right? But when you want to show that the action is very important, then you can use passive voice. All right. So it depends on what you're trying to convey, whether the speaker is important or whether the action is more important. That's the clue there. And another thing is when you do processes like recipe writing, experiments, for all these, you need the passive voice. Like you say, take a, when you write. The recipe, it's always in small gists, right? 2 tablespoons of sugar, 1 tablespoon of tea leaves, 2 cups of hot water. It goes like that. But when you write it, you write it this way: 2 cups of water are taken and boiled. It comes in the passive form. So when you write processes, you use the passive forms. When you write experiments, there also you need the help of passive voice. So that is it. So I would like you to watch the video again and again, so it will be clear. If you find anything, if you need any more help beyond that, you can always feel free and ask me your queries. You can post it on WhatsApp or on Google classes. So now let's go on with our the 100 dresses part 2. Part 1 we have done already in our video. I've posted I've uploaded I think 2 videos on one video on 100 dresses 1. I've completed that lesson for you, where the main character is Wanda Petronsky, and the name itself is very strange. So the children in the class find it very strange, and they are always, they are after this girl Wanda, and Peggy and Maddie are the other main characters. And Peggy, I've asked you to answer questions on Peggy and on Maddie and on Wanda. So you can see how Peggy is supposed to be a very sweet person who does not like animals, even animals being treated cruelly. But you find her, asking Wanda all the time, how many dresses do you have, how many shoes, how many pairs of shoes do you have, all these questions. And they are almost like, bullying, teasing her all the time. And on the other hand, you can also watch Wanda. She's a very cool customer. Probably she does not want to get irritated, frustrated. She does not, could be within she is like that, but she does not express any emotion. She's very calm, cool, collected. She's always there answering those questions very quietly, calmly. I think we do need to learn such kind of techniques, and you don't give a chance for others to breathe down your neck, shoulders, or get after you, or get on your nerves. All right. So all these things are there. So we can see that this girl Wanda was one who has won the drawing competition, and she's drawn about 100 dresses, and these 100 dresses are all put up on the walls in room number 13, the classroom. And how Peggy was expecting to be the winner. Even Maddie expects Peggy to be the winner, because they feel that she was, the one who is the best at drawing. And finally, we also get to know that she is not the winner, and Wanda is the winner. And she has put on about 100 sketches there, while the others have just put up 1 or 2. So we see that Wanda has been, missing from class from Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, and nobody knows what is, keeping her away from school. That's how the lesson ends there, the part 1. Now let's see why she has not come to school, how this particular news about her winning the contest, how it is going to reach her, or whether she's going to come to school and get to know about it, or what what are the proceedings of the story? So we're going to continue with part 2 now. So the 100 Dresses, part 2 by Alvizor Esther. So yeah, we'll continue. I'm going to read as usual. Keep your textbook with you. Keep your spiral binding, the summary with you, the notes with you, the meanings with you. So it will be easy for you to follow up. All right? Right? Can I start off? Fine. So while the class was circling the room, which room? Room number 13. You remember the teacher told the students, Ms. Mason has told them, you can go around in a line and have a look at the drawings which are put up on the wall. So these children are going around the class probably. So while the class was circling the room, the monitor from the principal's office brought Miss Mason a note. So, a note, a particular note, probably something important, a message is being passed over to Miss Mason. So, Miss Mason read it several times and studied it thoughtfully for a while. Then she clapped her hands. So, something drew the attention of Miss Mason towards that note, and then she comes up and she speaks. So, she claps her hands probably to attract the attention of the class. Attention, class. Everyone back to their seats. So you remember, they are walking around. So when the monitor or the person has brought the particular note from the office to Miss Mason, she wants all the children to gather so she could speak to them. So attention, class. Everyone back to their seat. When the shuffling of feet had stopped, the movement had stopped, and the room was still and quiet, Miss Mason said, I have a letter from Wanda's father that I want to read to you. So what was this particular note that she received? Miss Mason has received a note, and this particular note is actually a letter from Wanda's father. Wanda apostrophe S. I've told you about apostrophe S. I've told you how apostrophe S is used for to show ownership, to show possessions. I've talked to you about singulars and plurals, how you use the apostrophe S or the S apostrophe. Then I've also told you about the contracted forms. So I would like you to, recall all these things. Whenever we touch on certain topics, if you remember something, you can go back and recall because that will help it stay in your memory. Okay, it will register. So here it says, she says, attention class, everyone back to their seat. When the shuffling of feet had stopped and the room was still and quiet, Miss Mason said, I have a letter from Wanda's father that I want to read to you. So she wants to read out this letter which she has received from the office. Okay, it's from the principal's office. Now, Miss Mason stood there a moment, not movement, it's moment. So moment and movement are two different words and two different pronunciations as well. Movement and this is movement, moving, moment, second, time. Okay, so moment and movement are two different words and two different pronunciations. Please be careful. So here it says the moment. All right. Miss Mason stood there a moment, and the silence in the room grew intense and expectant. Intense, it was very severe. Silence, absolute quiet the class remained, and intense, it was very, very quiet, and a lot of expectation from the students, because that Wanda has not turned up to class for some time, and everybody, some of them even did not notice the absence, but now since she's the winner, she's become a star probably of her class, and so everybody wants to know what this letter from Wanda's father has to say, and why Miss Mason is giving it such a lot of importance. So they are expecting something, and they want to know, exactly, curiosity, right? They want to know what the letter is all about. So the teacher adjusted her glasses slowly and deliberately, purposely she was doing it. Probably she was wanting to attract the attention. She wants to hold the attention of the students. So she's, holding the glasses, moving it. Her manner indicated that what was coming, that is, this letter that was coming from Wanda's father, was a matter of great importance. So when the teacher is so serious, children know that there's something important in that particular letter. So she's purposely doing it. She wants them to realize that what she's going to read, what she was going to read, was very, very important. Now, Everybody listened closely as Miss Mason read the brief, not a very short note, in fact, so she's reading it out loudly. Dear teacher, so Miss Mason, my Wanda, just the father is writing to Miss Mason, my Wanda will not come to your school anymore. So that sounds a little, what to say, very strict, stern. It could also sound rude because it's my Wanda and your school, right? Jake also. So there are other sibling probably. Now we move away to big city. No more holla polak. No more ask why funny name. Plenty of funny names in the big city. Yours truly, Jan Petrovsky. So you can see he says no more nonsense. Holla polak. Okay. No more all this bullying, worrying my daughter, asking her so many questions just because her name is different. You know, it's all this is crazy. So the father doesn't approve of what has been happening. Probably Wanda has reported this to her dad, and he's not very happy. And he says we are moving to the big city now. Big city metros, especially we have people from various parts of the country or the world, whatever, and they are there to work. So many people will have different kinds of names like these. So it will not be a matter there, but in this village, which is a small society, people find this name very funny. So they are making a lot of, they're causing a lot of distress, they're causing a lot of inconvenience for my daughter. So we are moving away, and there I hope we don't have any trouble like we had in this village. So he ends the letter very bluntly. Plenty of funny names in the big city. Very rude and very angry. That shows the father's anger. A deep silence met the reading of this letter. Now, who has been doing all this? Students. So now they know that it is because of them that this girl, the whole family is moving away. And they understand that, their behavior, their attitude has caused a lot of, sorrow, hurt, and, ill feelings in this whole family, right? So a deep silence met the reading of this letter. Miss Mason took off her glasses, blew on them, and wiped them on her soft white handkerchief. Then she put them on again and looked at the class. When she spoke, her voice was very low. So shows that the teacher is very thoughtful. So she removes her glasses, wipes it. Shows that there are lots of things running in her mind. So that's why this description. And then she looks at the class. She wants to know why such a kind of letter has come. And she has got clues how this girl has been, treated in this particular school. And probably she did not know about it. So she spoke in a very low voice. I'm sure that none of the boys and girls in room 13 would purposely and deliberately hurt anyone's feelings because his or her name happened to be a long, unfamiliar one. So she's being very kind, very polite. She says, I know nobody has done it very purposely, willfully. I know you've not done it to hurt somebody. Just because of her name, I don't think you've done it. She's trying to address the crowd very politely. I prefer to think that what was said in thoughtlessness. Probably you did not think before you did things. Okay? So she says, I prefer. Now she knows things are being done, but she says, I prefer, I like to think like this. I want to think that you have done it, without giving it a second thought. I know that all of you feel the way I do. That this is a very unfortunate thing to have happened. Unfortunate and sad, both. And I want you all to think about it. So here she says, see, what has happened now? The family has moved on. And they've written a note which expresses how deeply affected they are. And what has happened is very sad. It is not very, to hear something like this is very upsetting. So I want all of you also to sit and think about it, ponder about it. The first period was a study period. Maddie tried to prepare her lessons, but she could not put her mind on her work. You know about Maddie already. She wanted to put a stop to Peggy nagging at Wanda, but she was scared that the people would start teasing her. So she realizes that Wanda was really hurt, and her father was also really hurt because she's written such a letter, and the whole family is moving away to the city. So she's not able to concentrate on her studies. Though the class was a study class, she was not able to concentrate and prepare. She had a very sick feeling in the bottom of her stomach. True, she had not enjoyed listening to Peggy ask Wanda how many dresses she had in her closet. But she had said nothing. She had stood by silently, and that was just as bad as what Peggy had done. Worse, she was a coward. At least Peggy hadn't considered they were being mean, but she, Maddie, had thought they were doing wrong. She could put herself in Wanda's shoes. Now, what is more upsetting is Maddie feels, you see, Peggy did not even realize that it was she was hurting Wanda by asking her such questions. But Maddie felt, hurt. She wanted Peggy to stop it, but she was a coward. She was not brave enough to tell Peggy that she was wrong in asking such questions to Wanda. Now, that was causing a great discomfort within her. That was eating into her. Probably she was not feeling very comfortable because, when you know there's something wrong, and when you don't stand up and point a finger and say, this is wrong, then you yourself are guilty. Okay, not just the person who is doing it is guilty. You also, who have not, who has not, you who have not stood up and said this is wrong, is also the person is also as guilty as the person who's committing the mistake. So you're like partner in crime, all right? So it's wrong. So she understands that by standing there silently and watching the whole lot of proceedings, even that was wrong. She realizes that, and that is what is making her feel very uncomfortable. Right? Now, goodness, wasn't there anything she could do? It's too late, right? No. If only she could tell Wanda she hadn't meant to hurt her feelings. She does not even have a chance to meet her and tell her words because now they have moved away. So naturally, Wanda's not going to come to school. So now we know the reason for her not coming for those 3 days, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. So she turned around and stole a glance at Peggy. But Peggy did not look up. Where did she look at Peggy? She stole a glance, meaning she slowly looked at her because she wanted to know whether Peggy was also feeling bad about it. Right? She wanted to know how Peggy would feel after listening to this letter. Now, Peggy did not look up, so she was also feeling very guilty, sad about what she has been doing. She seemed to be studying hard. Well, whether Peggy felt bad or not, Maddie, had to do something. Now, Peggy was very, contained, self-contained, very quiet, very quiet. So, Maddie thought, is this girl really feeling sad for what she's done? Or is she just ignoring what is done and ignoring the contents of the letter? But then she says, I'm not worried about what she's going to do. Well, whether Peggy felt bad or not, Maddie had to do something. So she wanted to do something about this. She had to find Wanda Petronsky. Maybe she had not yet moved away. Maybe Peggy would climb the heights with her, and they would tell Wanda she had won the contest. That they thought she was smart and the 100 dresses were beautiful. Now what is the plan? Now Maddie feels now she has to compensate. She feels very bad. She does not want to, have this guilty feeling within her. So she wants to find a particular, some kind of, some action which would, make her feel a little comfortable. So she thought, okay, probably Wanda has still not left the village. Probably they're packing up their things, they're getting ready to ship. So she wanted to take Peggy also with her and go and see Wanda and inform her, tell her that she was the winner of the contest, trying to make it up with Wanda, make it up, make friends again, make sure those ill feelings are removed. Okay, they want to strengthen the relationship. This was Maddie's ideal plan. When school was dismissed in the afternoon, Peggy said, with pretended casualness. Hey, let's go and see if that kid has left town or not. Now, who is the speaker here? Peggy. So, Peggy also, was of the same, mindset as Maddie. They say, great minds think alike. Okay, and yeah, they are two close friends too. So probably they had the same mindset. So Peggy said it in a very casual way, which she did not want to show that she was very serious about it. So she says, "Let's go and see what she's up to, what Wanda's up to." So Peggy I told you, had plus had, helping verb plus the main verb, past perfect tense. So this is when Maddie was also having the guilty feeling in the class. Peggy also was undergoing the same emotion, the feeling. The, so Peggy had the same idea. Maddie glowed. No, Maddie was very happy. Oh, good that she also had the same thoughts. Peg was really all right. So she was okay with it. Now, the two girls hurried out of the building, out of the school, up the street towards Boggins Heights, the part of town that wore such a forbidding air on this night of a November afternoon. Drizzly, damp, dismal, very dull, very quiet, drizzling all the time. Raindrops and a light shower. So it was a very place which you would not like to step into. And you know about Wanda's shoes, they are always full of mud. Okay, so that place was like that. So it was not very, comfortable to go to such a place. But these two girls wanted to go and see Wanda. So, well, at least, said Peggy gruffly, I never did call her a foreigner or make fun of her name. I never thought she had the sense to know we were making fun of her anyway. I thought she was not she was too dumb and gee, look how she can draw. Oh, now what is she saying? See, I did not even know that this girl was so sensible to understand that we were making fun of her. Okay, I did not think she was so smart. And look at it. See the way she has drawn. My God, she's so talented. So she's speaking out to Maddie. Peggy speaking out her art to Maddie. So Maddie could say nothing. All she hoped was that they would find Wanda. She wanted to tell her that they were very sorry they had picked on her, made fun of her, teased her, bullied her, and how wonderful the whole school thought she was, and please not to move away, and everybody would be nice. So her main intention, Maddie wanted to, she was hoping, she thought, okay, I must see her. I hope Wanda has not left this place. I hope we could meet her and tell her, see, everything is fine. Everybody thinks you're a star because you won such a beautiful contest, you've won such beautiful dresses, you won the contest, you become very famous among the students. So please come back, don't go away from here. Please come, you will be very good. You'll feel fine here. And we will treat you very sweetly henceforth. We will not have any problems. We will not bully you. She wanted to make her comfortable. She wanted to speak to her. All right. This is what Maddie's plan was when she met Wanda. Right. The two girls hurried on. They hoped to get to the top of the hill before dark. So before it could turn dark, naturally the weather is also bad. Okay. So before it turned dark, they wanted to go to Wanda's place and see whether she was there, meet her, talk to her. I think that's where the Petronskis live, said Maddie, pointing to a little white house. Wisps of old grass stuck up here and there along the pathway like thin kittens. You know what kittens are, right? Like small cats. So here and there were a little bit of growth, okay? A little bit of, grass growing. The house and its sparse little yard looked shabby but clean. So it was nothing was very attractive about the yard. Sparse means probably it was not very, no cultivation, no good plants or trees or anything like that. It was a very small place, but it was clean. This reminds you about Wanda. They say she came with wrinkled clothes. It was not ironed properly, but then her clothes were very clean, and she wore one blue faded dress. It is said there, but she was very clean. So the same thing, reflection here. They find the whole yard, probably the little space in front of the house or around the house, was very clean. Okay, sparse is very thinly cut, nothing much there. No proper plants or anything, nothing growing properly there. Okay, it was a very little yard also. It reminded Maddie of Wanda's one dress, her faded blue cotton dress, shabby but clean. It was not very neatly ironed but clean. So the same resemblance. Okay, so she gets reminded, once she sees this yard, she gets reminded about Wanda. There was not a sign of life about the house, nobody around. Not a sign of life, meaning there was no one around there. Peggy knocked firmly on the door, but there was no answer. So they wanted to know whether anyone was inside. Sorry. She and Maddie went around to the backyard and knocked there. So they went around, going to the other side of the house, the back of the house. They want to knock there, find out whether there was anybody inside. They want to make sure. Still, there was no answer. So probably there was no one. So what do you guess about this? Probably the Petronskis, the whole family, had left and moved to the town already, the city already. There was no doubt about it. The Petronskis were gone. How could they ever make amends? Now, how is Wanda, or how is, I'm sorry, how is Peggy, or how is Maddie going to correct what they've already done? They wanted to go meet Wanda, make friends with her. But now there's nobody there. So now how are they going to make amends? How are they going to correct what they've done, all the mistakes that they've done? How are they going to make, make themselves feel at ease, rectifying their mistakes by speaking to Wanda? How is it going to happen? Now, well, anyway, they turned slowly and made their way back down the hill. There's no other door, so they have to get back. Well, anyway, said Peggy, she's gone now, so what can we do? Besides, when I was asking her about all her dresses, she probably was getting good ideas for her drawings. She might not even have won the contest ever. So she's trying to, please herself by finding a reason. So I said, see, I questioned her. I was the one who helped her to create her dresses in her imagination. That was how she's also won the contest. That's all because of me. So she's trying to, soothe herself. She's trying to make herself, be at ease, thinking that she was the reason behind Wanda's, winning the contest, the drawing contest. Maddie turned this idea carefully over in her head. For if there were anything in it, she would not have to feel so badly. But that night she could not get to sleep. She thought about Wanda and a faded blue dress and the little house she had lived in. And she thought of the glowing pictures those 100 dresses made, all lined up in the classroom. At last, Maddie sat up in bed and pressed her forehead tightly in her hands and really thought. This was the hardest thinking she had ever done. After a long, long time, she reached an important conclusion. She was never going to stand by and say nothing again. So now, Maddie, yes, Peggy has said the it. She's trying to put herself at ease. But Maddie, sorry, is unable to get over this, thought that is running through her mind. So even in the night, she's unable to sleep. When you're not at ease, not at peace, you will not be able to sleep. So she's undergoing the same, torture in her mind. She's wondering how, she's gone hand in glove with Peggy and made Wanda feel bad. So it's eating into her head. She's not allowed, she's not being, she's not able to rest in peace. So then she makes up this one firm decision. She comes to her, makes this one firm decision. She makes up her mind. And she says, never ever, am I going to stand by and look at anybody being bullied, ill-treated or made fun of, teased. So that was the decision that Maddie made that particular night. And that was the one time that she really thought hard. If she ever heard anybody picking on someone, making fun of someone, phrasal verb again, picking on, okay? So here, someone, because they were funny looking or because they had strange names, she would speak up. So she said, I'm going to stand and say, no, stop doing this, or you're wrong by bullying somebody. She's going to speak up. Speak up again, phrasal verb. Even if it meant losing Peggy's friendship, even if, no, in the beginning she was scared, but now she's not scared. Even if Peggy's not going to be my friend, I'm not going to worry. I'm going to stand up and voice out my opinion. When there is something wrong being done, I'm not going to keep my mouth shut. That was Maddie, right? Maddie's decision. She had no way of making things right with Wanda, but from now on, she would never make anyone else that unhappy again. She's very sorry that she cannot make amends. She cannot put things right with Wanda. But then she says, okay, I'm not able to do this, but let me do this. I'm not going to allow anybody else to be teased. I'm not going to allow anybody else to be, bullied henceforth when I'm present there. On Saturday, Maddie spent the afternoon with Peggy. So, what was the important decision that Maddie made? How did Peggy find, reason to comfort herself? These are the questions that I would like you to answer. And I also want you to tell me the contents of Wanda's father's letter to Miss. Right? And I would like you to also answer me on this particular question. How did Miss Mason, deal with the class? Was she happy with what the class had done? What do you learn from her reaction? Right after reading Wanda's father's letter. So these are the questions that I would like you to answer. Now, on Saturday, Maddie spent the afternoon with Peggy. They were writing a letter to Wanda Petronsky. So they've joined together. They've decided to write a letter to Wanda because they cannot meet her in person. Okay? It was just a friendly letter telling about the contest and telling Wanda she had won. They told her how pretty her drawings were, and they asked her if she liked where she was living and if she liked her new teacher. They had meant to say they were sorry, but it ended up with their just writing a friendly letter, the kind they would have written to any good friend. And they signed it with lots of X's for love. They mailed the letter to Morgan's Heights, writing, "Please forward on the envelope." Now, what do you mean by this? Okay, let's come to this. So now Maddie and Peggy have decided. So they write a letter. They want to actually say sorry, but that doesn't happen. If the letter works out like, they write the letter as if they're writing to a very good friend of theirs. They want to put themselves at ease for all that they've done. They want to say a sorry, but they've never said it. They just act as if they're very good friends. And they're inquiring about Wanda's new place, new teacher, whether she likes the place, teacher, friends, whatever. They just keep inquiring about things around. And then they post this letter to Morgan's Heights. Why did they post it to Morgan's Heights when they know that Morgan's Heights, the Petronskis have left from there? Why? I give you a second to think about that. Why? Just think about that and let me know. Okay, so actually, now they went up to Morgan's Heights, right? They know that the Petronskis have left. Yeah, all right. Now, if you look at it, the postal department, they mailed the letter, right? So when the postal department goes and the postman goes and tries to deliver the letter at Morgan's Heights, it's surely not going to find anybody there. Okay. Now, a forward meaning. Now, usually those days when people shifted from one place to the other, or if they wanted to, because they would always, when they were about to shift, they would always inform few places of importance. One was the post office, because all their letters would come there. The old days. It's very important that probably by the time they inform people about their moving from the present address, they would receive a lot of letters. Now, what is going to happen to all these letters? They might be important letters. So usually, the people who are shifting would inform the post office people, okay, about their new address, change of address. It's all become digital. Even on the ration card, if you want to change your address, you can just go online and do the changes. But it was not like that those days. Okay, so there used to be, certain things that people used to do when they were about to move. They'll inform the neighbors, they'll inform the post office people or people of importance in that particular area about their change, okay, of the address. So anybody coming inquiring about them, these people would be able to direct them. Okay, so when Peggy and Peggy and Maddie have written, "Please forward," that means they're expecting the post office people to know their Wanda's address, new address. So that's why on the envelope they've written forward. Please forward to the new address. That's the meaning. Now, days passed and there was no answer, but the letter did not come back. When the letter does not come back, it means it has reached. Otherwise, usually when your letter does not reach the person you've written it to, it will come back to you. That's the rules of the postal department. All right. So maybe Wanda had received it. Perhaps she was so hurt and angry she's not going to answer. You could not blame her for all that she has undergone. She was very angry with these people, so she did not want to answer or write a letter back to them. This is what the conclusion was between, what Maddie and Peggy thought about when they did not receive a letter from Wanda. Now, days passed by and there was no answer, but the letter did not come back. So maybe Wanda had received it. Perhaps she was hurt and angry. She was not going to answer. You could not blame her because she has undergone a lot of things. Okay. Weeks went by and still Wanda did not answer. Peggy had begun to forget the whole business, and Maddie was put herself to sleep at night, making speeches about Wanda. So how are these people adjusting? Peggy probably, okay, let me forget about this. But Maddie, she's talking about Wanda all the time, and she's trying to, make sure that she's trying to put herself at ease. She does not want this guilt to torture her, that she had been hand in glove with Peggy and tortured Wanda. Right now, so Maddie put herself to sleep at night, making speeches about Wanda, defending her from great crowds of girls who were trying to tease her with how many dresses have you got? And before Wanda could press her lips together in a tight line, the way she did, her lips, the way that she did before answering, Maddie would cry out, stop. Then everybody would feel ashamed the way she used to feel. Whatever Maddie was not able to do, when Wanda was actually being teased, she was trying to do that before she could, probably she imagined the whole situation before she would go to bed. Every night it says she put herself to sleep at night. Okay, how she imagined Wanda standing there, the girls standing around, Peggy asking her these questions: how many dresses do you have? How many shoes do you have? And what Maddie was not able to do then, she imagined herself doing then. Okay, so that was kind of comforting her. She was practicing also probably how she was going to do it with the other girls. So she always thought she had to stand by and protect Wanda, which she was never able to do. But in her imagination, she tried all that. Okay, she was trying to do things. Now it was Christmas time and there was snow on the ground. Winter. Christmas bells and a small tree decorated the classroom. So it was Christmas time. They were decorating. Our school also, we decorate the tree, the Christmas tree. So there was a small Christmas tree there decorated. On the last day of school, before the holidays, the teacher showed the class a letter she had received that morning. So there goes, another letter comes down and Miss Mason has another letter with her. You remember Wanda Petrolsky, the gifted little artist who won the drawing contest? Gifted little talented person? Well, she has written me and I am glad to know where she lives because now I can send her medal. I want to read her letter to you. So she's very happy. The teacher is very happy. The child has written the letter, so she's got the address. So she'll be able to communicate and she wants to hand over the medal and make her happy that she's the winner. So she's so happy and so she's sharing the news with the class and she wants to read the letter to the class. So when the teacher mentioned Wanda, you can imagine the way these people felt. The class sat up with a sudden interest and listened intently, very carefully, closely. They listened to the letter that was written by Miss Mason. Dear Miss Mason, how are you? And room 13. See, room 13, the whole class. Please tell the girls they can keep those 100 dresses. Because in my new house, I have 100 new ones all lined up in my closet. So you can imagine those 100 dresses. What are they? Again, she's been drawing, okay? Because she's not such a, probably she's not a very well-to-do person. Overnight, they're not going to grow rich, right? I would like that girl Peggy to have the drawing of the green dress with the red trimming and her friend Maddie to have the blue one. For Christmas, I miss that school, and my new teacher does not equalize with you. So she says, give Peggy this dress and give Maddie that dress, the drawing she needs. So then which shows that she's not very upset with them. It shows that she's kind of getting friendly. So you can see the reflection, what she could not, write back. She mentioned in Miss Mason's letter. So the news would reach Maddie and Peggy. So that it was enough to let Maddie and Peggy feel that they were forgiven by Wanda probably. So now, and there's another thing. See, it also shows, but the next line shows that this girl Wanda really, loved her teacher, Miss Mason. She says the new teacher does not, cannot be compared to you. She cannot come anywhere near you. She was such a different, unique teacher. Okay, Merry Christmas to you and everyone. So that's how she ends the letter. Yours truly, Wanda Richards. On the way home from school, Maddie and Peggy held their drawings very carefully. No, it is like a treasure to them, a gift from Wanda for Christmas. Okay, all the houses had wreaths and holly in the windows. Okay, if you look at Christmas decorations, you'll always find a big, a wreath, a green band with red, small red, kind of fruit, like those round things. Okay, there's a hollies, the round thing, the wreath. Okay, especially when a VIP passes away, you find the other VIPs coming with wreaths and bouquets. They come and pay their last respects during the last rites being done. Those are the wreaths. So every house here was now this is used for the decoration. Okay, so now all the houses were well decorated for Christmas. Okay, outside the grocery store, hundreds of Christmas trees were stacked for sale. Okay, and in the window, the place where you go window shopping, they say, where the mannequins are, all those are displayed. Okay, so candy, peppermint sticks, and cornucopias of shiny, transparent paper were strung. So those are decorative containers. Okay, the meaning is given there itself. Then the air smelled like Christmas and lights shining everywhere, reflected different colors on the snow. So when Christmas time arrives, the whole place is all decorated with lights, with Christmas trees, with a lot of decorative items. So and all this light, when it reflects, what happens when that light falls on the snow? There's a lot of reflection. If you watch the movie Baby's Day Out, not Baby's Day Out, Home Alone. Okay, you can see the way place is decorated because of Christmas and how well lit it is and how it reflects on the snow. It's very beautiful to watch that scene. If you can watch Home Alone, you can have an idea of this. So here, boy, said Peggy, this shows she really likes us. So they were convinced. So because she's giving them gifts, they're very convinced that Wanda has forgiven them and she really likes them. It shows she got our letter, and this is her way of saying that everything is all right. And that is that. So we can be at ease. She's received our letter, she's now our friend. I hope so, said Maddie sadly. She felt sad because she knew she would never see the little tight-lipped Polish girl again. Polish, Poland, okay, from Poland. And couldn't ever really make things right between them. One thing that Maddie was upset about was she could not, see her face to face and apologize to her. She went home and she pinned her drawing over a torn place in the pink flowered wallpaper in the bedroom. The shabby room came alive from the brilliance of the colors. Mary sat down on her bed and looked at the drawing. She had stood by and said nothing, but Wanda had been nice to her anyway. So when you look at it, she goes home. Maddie was not also very rich. So wallpaper on the wall, instead of painting, they have paper, which is decorative paper. So that wall, part of it was not very, nice. The paper had come off. So this girl took her painting and stuck it in that portion, and she always kept looking at it. And how, she realizes that that particular drawing lights up her room. Not only the room, it can also light up her life because she feels very guilty about what she had done. And she realizes, though she had not supported this girl, she still sent her a gift, and that really touches Maddie. She went home and she pinned her drawing over a torn place in the pink flowered wallpaper in the bedroom. The shabby room came alive From the brilliance of the colors, Maddie sat down on the bed and looked at the drawer. She had stood next to Peggy and said nothing. But Wanda had been nice to her anyway by giving her this gift, that particular dress. Right now, tears blurred her eyes. So her eyes were filled with tears, so she was not able to see clearly. Her eyes, tears blurred her eyes, and she gazed for a long time at the picture. She's not able to move her eyes from the picture. She was not able to move away, turn away from the picture. She was looking at the picture. Then hastily, she rubbed her eyes and studied it intently. So she's looking at it very carefully again. The colors in the dress were so vivid, so elaborate, that she had scarcely noticed the face and head of the drawing. So there was something else that she had not noticed, but it looked like her, Maddie. So the dress had a particular face also to it. All the people were looking very closely at the colors and the dress. They failed to notice the face. Actually, the face that she had drawn was Maddie's face there. All right. It really looked like her own mouth. Why it really looked like her own self? Wanda had really drawn this for her. Excitedly, she ran over to Peggy's. Peg, she said, let me see your picture. What's the matter? Asked Peggy as they clattered up to her room where Wanda's drawing was lying face down on the bed. Maddie carefully raised it. Now, Peggy went and left the picture. It was, the face was not seen. So, Maddie takes up the picture and she looks at the face. She wants to know whether it is Peggy's face there as she had seen her face on her drawing. Okay. Now, look, she drew you. That's you, she exclaimed. And the head and face of this picture did look like you. So, why she asked for this particular dress to be given to Peggy? Why she had asked for this particular dress to be given to Maddie is because she had drawn it for them. And their face was the face on the particular dress also. On their dresses, meant for them. So, what did I say? Said Peggy. Okay, she must have really liked us anyway. So she was actually she liked us. That's why she has drawn our faces on these dresses. Yes, she must have, agreed Maddie. And she blinked away the tears that came every time she thought of Wanda, standing alone in that sunny spot in the schoolyard, looking stolidly over at the group of laughing girls after she had walked off, after she had said, sure, 100 them, all well. So she could imagine how she stood there very strongly and how she walked away saying, I have 100 dresses. Okay. So now these two girls realize that Wanda actually liked them very much. And that I think would have made them feel at ease. So that's the end of the lesson. I want you to tell me the contents of Wanda's letter to Miss Wilson. Okay. And I also want you to tell me, you know, the difference the dress made in Maggie's room, right? And I would like you to tell me one more answer. I want you to tell me whether, um, you know, one more question. I'll tell you. What excuses does Peggy think up for her behavior? Okay, her behavior towards women. What are the excuses she gives as to why she acted rudely to Wanda? Peggy's excuses. Okay, so that is another question. Any queries? Please feel free. You can ask me on WhatsApp or on Google Classes. So that's the end of this class. Thank you.